The coverage of the 2015 World Championships for HeroClix. We are just starting up the final round to crown the world champion. I said my goodbyes earlier to Kenny, but I actually asked him to come back to commentate with me of this round, because we do have in the final round Paris, who is playing a team with Felix Faust. And since you played Felix Faust in your team, I thought it would be helpful that we can kind of talk through. He's got the D20, so there's multiple effects, and I'm sure you are well versed in all of those effects. So we can talk through those and see as they come up on the D20 roll and what they'll do. So. Yep, they're just starting here, and we're kicking over to the camera. And going through, so we just saw in the last match Phil, and Phil is playing the Alpha Class Sentinel, which has the switch clicks with the attack and defense modes. He's also playing a Spider Bot. And he's got the Phoenix Force with the Magic Colossus, Cyclops, Emifrost, and Namor fragments. And he is up against Paris, who is playing Spiral, Felix Faust, Loki, Parallax. He's got two entities. Parallax is assigned to Spiral, and Entity is assigned to Faust, and he is also playing the Phoenix Force, a full Phoenix Force. So they're cycling through those cards on Paris's team, and as I mentioned in the last match, Phil is playing the Alpha Class Sentinel. We don't have that card loaded up into our computer, so we're not going to be able to see information about his dial-in card. It's a very interesting team build that I know has been turning some heads throughout the tournament. So again, yeah, I think you were absolutely right, Kenny, in the last match, that Phil is looking for those wide open maps to be able to just move right across the board. And we saw this this map in one of our feature matches the other day. This is from Thor: The Dark World, the movie set.
Crit and miss. Sorry to cut you off there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not. Maybe that's a 3.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little hard to see the dice with the glare of the lights, depending on how glossy they are.
Alright, so we got a roll there. I wish I could tell what color that is. I'm going to say that's pink. Which he's using probability control. That is Starburst. Starburst is Felix Faust. You give him a free action, and opposing characters can only be given free action. So Sentinel next turn, if he has Perplex, Outwit, or anything that's considered a free action, he's more than welcome to do so. But he's not going to be moving, probably not going to be attacking this next turn. And that's just how Felix Faust rolls, literally. And you got Loki and Spiral there just to help him out in case he gets a bad one.
Yeah, we can kick over to the cards for Paris's team again, so we can check out. This is going to cycle through the different figures that he's got on his team. And once we get to that Felix Faust card on the cycle, we'll be able to see all those options he's got available to him on that special D20. Felix Faust is one of the convention exclusive figures that is available for sale here at Origins, and was at the U.S. Nationals. So since it was at the U.S. Nationals, it is legal for this tournament. And oh, I'm sorry, we don't have Faust's card to show you, but we'll cycle through the other cards on his team. So
I more or less have the Faust card kind of memorized.
Yes,
so I'll be able to help out with that if needed.
Kenny will be our reference material here for Faust. And as you said, Loki with probability control and Spiral with probability control. So that's that's a major strategy of this team to make use of that that D20 and try to get the best result.
So you can see right there, I mean, Faust not being able to move, only be getting free actions. He's somewhat of a sitting duck for Spyro and Faust himself. Even Loki, if he wants to get into the action, doing some damage.
So you saw Paris taking his entity and clicking down the dial. Those two dials are linked as he's assigned to Faust. When Faust's dial turns, so will the entity that's assigned to him, and then he's considering what abilities or powers he's going to borrow from that entity.
So, as expected, we have Phil asking to see Felix Faust's card. It seems to be a growing tradition here. There's a lot to absorb when it comes to Felix Faust. There's a lot of things to know. As you know, it's a D20, so that's 20 different things that can happen on Faust. Granted, there's one part of the 20 that has any. You can choose anyone. There's also one that's blank where, you know, more or less is a crit miss. So 18 unique different things that can happen from Faust. Can't blame a player who's not using him to know everything.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's always good to refer to the card. Just make sure that you're making sure that it's as you expected. Can't always go from memory.
Yeah. So as you just saw there, Paris rolled the D20 and got the boot. So what the boot is similar to the Starburst. It's giving Felix Faust a free action, and now opposing characters can only be given move actions. So, you know, no free action poison, no. I mean, Sentinel's a Colossal, so wow. Nope, that's a 7. I thought that was a 1.
Well, and that was it. That was a very short game there, but. Looks like Paris is able to take it. He was able to really limit the actions that Phil was able to take. Phil was trying to move across the board and get in as shots as he could, but some good rolls on the Felix Faust die, and that makes Paris our 2015 HeroClix World Champion.
Yeah, big shout out to Paris Gordon. Congratulations to him. Great player. You know, part of Team Ragnarok down south. So he had a great team. He didn't even need the probs in that game to manipulate the Faust roll. So that's
he got good rolls right out of the gate. Yeah. I mean, we saw him prob the first one, but he was able to get the effects that he was looking for to be able to limit the action so that the Sentinel wasn't able to get attacks in on him. And well, again, I'm thank you for coming over and talking us through the Felix Faust abilities, and we're gonna just they're gonna talk. I'm sure there's some congratulations going on.
Order,
so
yes.
We're gonna take a little pause here, and I'll see if I can get Paris over to say a few words. But thank you again, Kenny, for sitting down with us.
Glad